Hey everybody, Captain Eldrew here, and happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. So, with it being Star Wars Day, I thought I'd bring you my top 3 Star Wars games of all time. I wanted to do a top 5, but I just did not have time right now. So, got top 3. Here we go. Number 3 on the NES, Star Wars.
Star Wars on the NES. The first Star Wars game I ever played, and it left a big mark on my childhood. From the moment you start in the land speeder and enter the first cave, I was captivated. You enter the world of Star Wars fighting enemies from the movies, including Sand People, Jawas, Stormtroopers, and Bounty Hunters. You even run into enemies not seen in the movies, including giant slugs, flying insects, and womp rats. There are a variety of levels from the caves, the Sandcrawler, Mos Eisley, and the Death Star. There are even flying levels such as going through the asteroid field, destroying TIE fighters, and navigating the Death Star trench in your X-Wing. Just make sure to pick up all the Millennium Falcon shields in the cave so you have better odds than 3,720 to 1 of surviving the asteroid field. Eventually, you are able to choose from multiple characters including Han Solo and Princess Leia. C-3PO, R2-D2, and Obi-Wan Kenobi also make appearances even if they aren't playable characters. The sprites look good, and I've always enjoyed the music, even if it isn't all from Star Wars. I've always found it to be very catchy. It may not be the best Star Wars game, but as a kid, it allowed me to enter my favorite movie and play as Luke Skywalker trying to save the galaxy. To this day, I still haven't beaten it, but I always enjoy putting it into the NES and giving it a go.
Number 2 on the Nintendo 64, Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
The moment I played Star Wars Rogue Squadron, I was amazed. I was able to find some of my favorite ships in the franchise. Everything from the X-Wing, Y-Wing, A-Wing, Snowspeeder, and the V-Wing. Wait, V-Wing? What the hell is that? I've never seen a V-Wing before. It doesn't matter though. It's a terrible ship and no one should ever choose it. Along with the regular ships, you can enter codes to fly the Naboo Starfighter from the Phantom Menace, a TIE Interceptor, which was powerful, had high maneuverability, but didn't have many shields, a car to replace the V-Wing, thank God, and the best ship of all time, the Millennium freaking Falcon. Hell yeah! The Millennium Falcon was always my favorite ship to use. It almost seems like easy mode because the quad lasers were powerful and they helped aim. Granted, some missions only allowed certain ships, but when I could, I always chose the Falcon, even if it meant sacrificing some accuracy. The Snowspeeder was also great because who doesn't want to use a tow cable to take down an AT-AT and then blow it up on the next pass? I love the replayability of this game, since at the end of the mission you were given a medal for your performance. It also included what you needed to get to the next medal. I was always motivated to see if I could do better. The variety of the levels was also great. You had everything from escort missions, rescue missions, and levels where you just needed to blow stuff up to try and cripple the Empire. I do have the 2 sequels, but they aren't nearly as good. And whenever I feel like destroying the Empire, Rogue Squadron is a definite go-to.
And number 1, my favorite Star Wars game of all time, on the Super Nintendo, Super Star Wars.
Super Star Wars on the SNES was the first Star Wars game that got everything right for me. It also helped that I was a young kid when the Super Nintendo came out, and the console blew me away. The graphics, the sounds, everything was awesome. To this day, it is still my favorite console of all time. But let's get back on topic. It may be a very difficult game, but the music and graphics are great. Once again, you play as Luke Skywalker following the events from A New Hope. Yes, this game took a few more liberties with the story than the NES version, but the basics are all there. Running around blasting womp rats has never been so much fun, and I spent hours playing this as a kid, even if I never got that far. It seemed as epic of a game as the movie was, from the levels and power-ups to the large boss battles. And I love how big they made each boss, even if some weren't from the movie. The land speeder stages also seemed pretty cool. After blasting some Jawas, you turn on the turbo and fly towards the Sandcrawler, or Mos Eisley. And when you get to the Sandcrawler, you get to blast even more Jawas. Luke must really harbor some hard feelings for the Jawas. He is pretty merciless in his slaughtering of them. He must have gotten that from Anakin. As with the NES version, you do get to play as other characters once you find them. Han Solo and Chewbacca make their appearance and get to blast stormtroopers with a ton of firepower. Some characters are more helpful in certain stages and boss battles than others, so it's a good idea to try different characters to see which works best. Once Luke gets his lightsaber, he can slice through almost everything pretty easily. He even makes some boss battles super easy. I may have never beaten this game, but the music and gameplay always brought me back. I know a lot of people prefer Super Empire Strikes Back and Super Return of the Jedi because they are more polished, but nothing will ever top the original game on the SNES, and that is why it is my favorite Star Wars game of all time.
So there you go. There are my top 3 Star Wars games of all time. This was a very hard list to come up with, and in fact, I'm going to leave you with some honorable mentions here at the end. But in the comments below, let me know what your favorite Star Wars games are, and what do you think of these 3? Have you played them? Have you not? Have you wanted to? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and may the 4th be with you.